To this day, the Hello Kitty murder case remains one of the most disturbingly brutal cases in modern history. This happened in Hong Kong on the 17th of March 1999 when a 23-year-old nightclub hostess, Fan Mai, was brutally tortured by a man and his friends till she succumbed to her wounds on the 14th of April that year. This is the Hello Kitty case. Let's get into it. Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Crime with Carrie. For years, I've been a fan of true crime, and I know if you're watching this video today, you share the same interests. I had been procrastinating starting this YouTube channel, but today, finally, I decided to take a leap of faith and launch my channel, Crime with Carrie. I hope you stay tuned, you subscribe, like, comment. I'll be giving you weekly true crime content. And on that note, let's begin. It all began in May of 1999 when a 14-year-old girl named Afong made her way to a Hong Kong police station. She told officers that for the past several weeks, she had been constantly hunted by the ghost of a woman who had been bound by electrical wire and tortured to death. The police, of course, brushed her off, dismissing her claims as nothing but teenage nonsense or drug-related delusion, as she was known to hang around with some shady people who dealt with drugs. Their interest heightened, however, when she explained that the ghost was of a woman she had had a hand in murdering. They followed the child back to a flat in the city's Kowloon district, where they discovered that the girl's claims were in fact very real. Inside the flat, they found so many Hello Kitty dolls and stuffings, but one was oversized and stood out. When they opened, the decapitated skull of a woman was found inside. This case then became known as the Hello Kitty murder and was regarded throughout Hong Kong as one of the most heinous crimes in history. The victim in today's case is called Fan Mai. She was born in 1976 in Shenzhen, a city in China. Her life was tragic even before she was brutally murdered. After being abandoned by her family as a child, she was raised in a girls' home. At the age of 16, the orphanage believed she was old enough to fend for herself. By that time, she had developed a drug addiction and was turning to prostitution to pay for her habits. In May 1996, Fan Mai met her husband when she was working as a dancer in a nightclub, and they soon got married and had a son. Her husband tried to deal with her narcotics addiction, but since he was also an addict, this would prove tough. This marriage quickly took a dark turn, and neighbors claimed they would hear the young couple fight all the time. By 23, she had secured a job as a hostess at a nightclub to be able to fend for her son and get her life back together. In early 1997, Fan Man-yi met Chan Man-lok, a 34-year-old socialite. The two met at the nightclub and discovered they had something in common. Fan Man-yi was a prostitute and a drug addict, and Chan Man-lok was a pimp and a drug dealer. Before long, Man-yi was a regular addition to Man-lok's group, and he was her dealer. Later in 1997, desperate for money and drugs, Fan Man-yi stole Man-lok's wallet and attempted to make off with $4,000 inside it. She hadn't realized that Chan Man-lok was the last person she should have stolen from. As soon as he saw his cash was gone, Man-lok enlisted two of his men, Liu Xingqiu and Liu Wailong, to kidnap Man-yi. He intended to force her to pay all that she had stolen, plus an interest of $10,000. Fan Man-yi managed to raise the initial $4,000, but asked for more time to pay the interest. He kept her and invited his friends to come over and violate and use her as they wished. However, after a few sessions, he decided that he wanted to punish her and use her as an example. They sent her to a third-floor apartment on Granville Road and tied her with electrical wires. They tied her up and beat her, and for over a whole month subjected her to various horrors, such as burning up her skin, raping her, and forcing her to eat human feces. They bent the bottom of her feet, and eventually she became numb and couldn't even move when they tortured her. After a while, one of the men decided that she wasn't fun anymore since she was no longer reacting to the beatings as much as they wanted her to. So they should tie her up and suspend her in the air and use her as a punching bag. I mean, how can people be this wicked? Anyway, they tied her wrist up with electric cords and tied up the other end to the ceiling fan, and they would leave her for hours, sometimes even overnight. They used gags and dirty rags to prevent her screams from getting heard. She was tortured for a whole month. When they weren't torturing her, they played video games in a separate room while she was dying in the other. Though the torture of Fan Man Yi was horrifying enough, perhaps more horrifying is the tale of the 14-year-old girl, Afong, who reported her murder to the police. Not only was she responsible for turning the torturers in, but she herself was one. She was dating Manlok, and on one occasion, she joined in bashing Fan's head, just for fun. One night, on April 15th, 1999, the guys decided to go out for dinner. And when they returned, they found that Fan had succumbed to her wounds and had died. To cover up their crime, they put her into a bathtub and cut her into pieces using a saw. And then they boiled her sawed up parts to prevent the smell of decomposing flesh from going out. And an even sicker twist, these men used the same utensils to cook their dinner that night. After boiling, they threw some of the body parts into trash, but kept the cooked head and stuffed it inside the oversized Hello Kitty doll. The remaining parts were fed to Manlok's dogs, and her internal organs were placed into plastic bags and stored in a fridge. In exchange for protection, which she also likely received, in part due to the fact that she was so young, Afon testified against Cham Manlok and his two accomplices. In an attempt to rid herself of the haunting she claimed to be experiencing, she detailed the torture that the three men put Fan Man Yi through. The three men denied killing her, but admitted to preventing her from receiving a decent burial. They accused each other of torturing her while downplaying their own involvement in this abuse. The defense also tried to argue that Fan Man Yi may have died of methamphetamine, which we know as meth, overdose, and that they chopped up her body because they were scared of being incriminated for her death. However, her husband testified that she had quit using meth as soon as she got pregnant with their son. The three men had inflicted so much damage to this poor woman's body that there was no way that even the forensic pathologists and medical officers could tell whether it was actually the drug overdose or the torture that killed her. As a result, the three were convicted not of murder, but manslaughter, as the jury believed that though they had caused her death, death was not the intent. This charge left Hong Kong's public reeling and furious. The trio were sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 20 years. Afong was set free because of the evidence she brought them. A court appointed a psychologist to check on the guys, and the psychologist came back with a report that the three men suffered from a psychosocial disorder, which meant that they had no emotions and were not remorseful for the crime they had committed. It is said that her husband and son now reside in Singapore. So guys, this brings us to the end of today's case, the Hello Kitty case. This is a very tragic case, and I'd like to know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Let me know if you think the sentence was fair, or was it harsh, or was it actually unfair. Till next time, please like, comment, subscribe, share. This is Crime with Carrie. Bye.